Stephen, the Salon Guy, and today I'm going to be talking to Libby Christensen, Scottish-born hairstylist, salon owner, writer, and co-producer of the movie Split Ends, a movie about a salon owner that struggles to keep her business alive. Meanwhile, corrupt politicians, local government, and greedy investors attempt to take over. Let's sit down and talk to Libby and find out what truly inspired her to write this film. Let's talk about her background and her passion and love for the salon industry. Here I am with Libby. Libby, thank you so much for having me come into your salon today. It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you, Stephen. Thank you very much for having me on your show. This is just exciting and wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So let's start out, Libby, with a little bit about your background. Tell us where you were born and what got you into the hairdressing industry.
Okay, I was born in Paisley, Scotland, and my idol at that time was Vidal Sassoon, and he was my inspiration for getting into the hairdressing field. Hairdressing in Scotland was very different back then. To become a hairdresser took you 5 years.
5 years?
5 years. 3 years of college and 2 years as a journeyman. Then you were ready to go. So the curriculum in college was English, because you have to speak the King's English, bookkeeping in case you own your own salon someday, science because you deal with chemicals, physiology because you're dealing with the head, art because it's an art form, and 2 periods of hairdressing. And that was for 3 years at Stowe College in Glasgow, Scotland. And then when you graduated from college, you then became a journeyman for another 2 years. And in 5 years, you're a hairdresser. I could have been a doctor. I could have been a scientist. But instead I chose hairdressing.
That's unbelievable. What do you mean by journeyman? Is that like an assistant, an apprentice?
Yeah, no, you're an apprentice for 3 years, and then you're apprenticing for 3 years, and then for the next 2 years you're assisting, you're working, you're gently working.
Okay. How does that make you feel, and the difference between when you were first starting in the industry and what you're seeing now, do you feel there's a big difference?
Tremendous difference, and what I would love to see implemented in the United States is a college for hairdressers to go to, like we did for 3 years. Because I find that most talented young women that want to get into hairdressing are told by their parents, no, you must go to college, you must get a college degree, you must get a college degree. And they shy away from hairdressing, whereas I just feel it would be a wonderful, wonderful, such a fabulous career, and it would be great to have a college education behind it. And I would love to do that. I would love to get the heads, all of the main people here in the United States, to create a Harvard of hair.
So that's really amazing, a college for hairstylists.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because we have to really have a better understanding of what happens on a day-to-day basis when we come into the salon. It's not just about cutting hair, it's about understanding psychology and emotions and dealing with people. Do you agree with that?
Without a doubt. And I have a story. One day a lady asked me, could she book an appointment every week? She didn't need to get her hair cut. She'd pay for a haircut, but just to talk to me. I mean, could you believe that? Is that amazing? I mean,
wow, she came in just to talk to you.
Yes, because, you know, she managed, we're safe. Like the bartender. We're not family, we don't get involved, but we can give them opinions, you know, and help them with situations. Yes, hairdressers are all psychologists. Really, we get to learn a lot about people, and we get to help them.
So what brought you here to the United States?
I think most Europeans think that they would love to come to America, you know, at some time. And you see that we do, people do, all over. I got married and came to America. I had just finished, I had just won a hairdressing competition, so I kind of thought when I came to America I would continue in that vein. I would go into educating and continue in the competition field. But getting married, I got pregnant right away. So I ended up having 2 children very quickly, and that nixed all my great intentions, you know. So what happened, I ended up opening my own salon. Actually, I worked in Newark. In the 60s, and then we had the riots.
What was that like?
That was pretty scary. And of course we got out of Newark. And that's when I opened my salon in Kearney, New Jersey. Just a small salon, great fun salon. And that's when I met Connie Francis.
Let's talk about Connie Francis. You were her personal hairstylist?
Yes, it was a very funny, how I met her is we're in the salon and we're all working and we see a white car pull up. And we see 3 beautiful ladies getting out of the car, and we're saying, where do you think, we've all put down our tools, our customers are with us, we're all looking out the window, saying, where do you think they're going, you know? And then I recognized one of them, and I said, scatter, they're coming in here, and we all rushed back to our seats and sat down, and in walked one of my clients, all dressed up and looking very beautiful. And she introduced me first to the first lady, and then she said, and this is Connie Francis. And in all my infinite wisdom, I said, you've got the same name as the singer. And she said, that is the singer. And she loved what I did for her, and she asked, would I come to her house and do some things when she was doing something very special. And then asked me to travel with her, and I traveled all over the world for the next 25 years with Connie as her personal hairdresser. It was one wonderfully exciting time in my life. I met every celebrity known to man at that time, and Connie is again an immense talent, a fabulous woman, and still performing. Her claim to fame was well, I shouldn't say that, but one of her claims to fame was that she sang in 13 languages.
Wow.
No other singer had done this, and so she had #1 top 10 hits all over the world. There were top 10 hits in Japan that we'd never heard of here. One of them was Pretty Little Baby, and when we were in Japan, 2 young girls had re-recorded it, and they had a #1 top 10 hit. Right at that time we were there, so they were singing the song, and there was a big red fan behind them, and they opened the fan, and Connie walked up and joined them in the song on a television show. It was really very fun. And imagine singing in languages, in 13 languages. That's just amazing, isn't it?
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
What was it like to actually, because there's a lot of people out there that want to, say, make it big and be a stylist to a star and a celebrity. Yeah. From being a hairstylist, was that something that you learned so much from that you think people would find that valuable?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you have to learn about timing and having everything on time, and not, lackadaisical, and not taking, you have to be sharp on, that's one of the things you learn. Just the creativity to make someone look extremely gorgeous. And then again, the psychology comes into play, how to handle situations, because when you're with celebrities, lots of erratic things happen, so you have to be able to handle them, calm the situation down. It's okay. I have a couple of funny stories about that. So just being able to handle
the pressure.
Yeah.
Pressure.
Well, especially if there's something nerve-wracking going on, is just to keep it calm and make sure everything goes smooth. Yeah.
So, Libby, you're a salon owner. How long have you been a salon owner now for?
Since since 1974.
Wow. And have you owned this particular salon that whole time?
Nope. I had a salon in Kearney called The Wig Place.
Okay.
And I opened my salon in Maplewood, in another location down on Baker Street. I opened that in 1978. And Connie Francis was my guest of honor for the opening of the salon.
Really?
She came, yes.
Wow.
She came we had a big party, a big opening party, and Connie came as the guest of honor. So that was 78. And then we moved here in 2004. We just moved up the street a little bit.
Okay.
We love this location.
Yeah, it's very nice, very nice. So being a salon owner, let's talk about your business a little bit. What are some of the key things that you think are important to owning a salon and to staying open these days?
I'll start with staying open. I was taught that even during the Great Depression, hairdressers were able to put food on the table because women needed to get a haircut for the psyche and men needed it if they were going for jobs, interviews for jobs. So hairdressers were able to put food on the table. I mean, they weren't wealthy, people weren't getting fancy things done. And that's kind of interesting to think that, you know, during economic bad times, that we'll still be able to float a little bit if you're, you know, if you know what you're doing. So, as far as key to having a salon, I would say most definitely being a good leader, having the right personalities, the right staff, being able to teach what you know.
How about marketing, online marketing and promotions, things like that?
Without a doubt. Well, I am just learning about that, I have to tell you. I'm one of the old school, and I'm just learning about that. We are just on a hard drive right now to promote marketing online, and most definitely that is the way of the future, and it is happening right now. We have to get with the marketing, definitely. And what you're doing, this promotional type thing, this is brilliant. I just love what you're doing, introducing ordinary hairdressing salon owners out there to everyone, and I think it's brilliant. So yes, we're working right now on marketing.
That's great. That's great. So speaking of marketing and promotions, and you have a great movie that you co-produced and you wrote the screenplay for, right? Called
Yes.
Split Ends. We actually have a trailer of the movie, which I think it's an amazing movie, and
Thank you.
I was so happy to watch it. So let's actually take a look at the trailer, and we'll be back in a few minutes.